Hello everyone, welcome to Voxcel. So in this video we're going to discuss third section of test 3 of GT book 19. We have already discussed section 1 and section 2 of this particular test. So if you haven't watched those videos, you should watch them, but after watching this video. For this, I need your undivided attention so that I can teach you how to solve these types of questions and you can understand how to attempt these kind of questions, or you can say this particular paragraph. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So if you have watched my previous videos, you should know how we start. We start by reading the title of the passage. The title says The Forgotten Role of Women in Medieval Arts. So by reading the title, we can assume, or we can infer that this paragraph should be about the role of women in the medieval arts, like basically maybe painting or drawing or other form of arts, but in which period? In medieval period. All right, so we have to understand the role of, we will be given the role of women, like were their role prominent, or were they not allowed to do something, or were they allowed to do something or not. I believe this kind of information, or these kinds of words, or maybe this information may be used. There may be something else in the paragraph, but we get a general idea by reading the title of the passage, and it will help us to channel our vocabulary. So that's the benefit of reading the title. So now what we will do, we will not go straight to the paragraph just yet. We will go to the questions, see what kind of questions we are dealing with, make a strategy, and then we will start reading the paragraph. So first we will see we have total questions 28 to 40. Okay, so here it is also written, we have to answer questions 28 to 40. So this is the first set, 28 to 32. So this is basically these sorry about that. These questions are basically MCQs. We have to choose one option out of these four. Okay, these 5 questions from 33 to 30, let me change the color for this. 33 to 36 we have 7 paragraphs. Okay, and for this this is a paragraph contains information, so we have to write the correct paragraph, or the paragraph in which this particular information given is given in front of this particular question. For example, let's just say if this information is given in A paragraph, we will write A. If it is given in B, C, D, whatever paragraph, we will write the number of that or alphabet of that particular paragraph. Okay, and last set 37 to 40, because we know there are 40 questions only. So 37 to 40, for this we have to write one word only. So this is our title of this particular type of question, lapis lazuli. Okay, we'll see what kind of thing is this. So now what we will do is we will make a strategy. So we will do this. Okay, for question number 28, we know our information starts in paragraph A. So obviously when we will read paragraph A, we are sure that our 28th answer will be there. So what we will do after reading paragraph A and solving this particular question, we will go to these questions, read these questions, and see if there is any answer of if A paragraph contains any of these answer, and then we will see if there is information of this particular blank in A paragraph. Okay, so we will solve these questions simultaneously. So what will be the benefit of this? It will help us save time, because we will not have to read a paragraph again and again, and secondly we will not have to remember the information, location of the information. So it will help you in that respect also. Okay, now we will start reading the first question, and then we will read the A paragraph. In paragraph A, what does the writer say about archaeology team's work? So now we have to tell in A paragraph what the writer says about archaeology team's work. So team, like work done by this particular team, what writer thinks about that. It confirmed what they had assumed when they started it. So it merely confirmed their assumptions or their beliefs. Let's just say they believed before starting this particular project that ABC thing is true, and after completing or after doing this particular work or project, their like belief or their assumptions came true, okay, or came out to be true. B. It was hard to persuade other historians about their findings. So it was not easy to convince other historians. Okay. So if that's the case, we will mark B as our answer. C. It could reveal the importance of various women in history. So it could reveal. So whatever the findings they found, it could reveal the importance of various women in history. So maybe in the past or before this we don't know about the importance of various women, so it will reveal the importance of various women, like how women impacted that particular thing, or what was the role of women in that particular thing. Basically I believe it should be some sort of art, because it is written in the title of the passage, forgotten role of women in medieval art, so it should be something related to arts. D. It could help identify the number of books written in the Middle Ages. So it will help us to identify the number of books that was or that were written in the Middle Ages. Books written in the Middle Ages. So now what I'm going to do is we will read the A paragraph. After reading the A paragraph, I will give you roughly 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and if you need more time than that, you should pause the video, or you can pause the video if you want to, and then when you are ready with your answer, you can continue. So we're going to read the A paragraph now. A team of archaeologists recently and unexpectedly revealed direct archaeological evidence of the involvement of medieval women in the production of manuscripts. So there is a team of archaeologists. They recently and unexpectedly. So unexpectedly means they were not expecting this particular thing, whatever they found. So they found direct evidence of what involvement of medieval women in the production of manuscripts. This challenges the widespread assumption that men were the sole producers of book throughout the period in the European history known as the Middle Ages. So this has challenged the widespread assumption that only men were involved, where only men were the sole producers of these particular books in Middle Ages throughout the European history. So we thought only men did this particular thing, but because of this archaeological evidence, we know that it is like women also had a role to play. They did so by identifying particles in they did so by identifying particles of blue pigment in the fossilized dental plaque of a medieval woman as lapis lazuli, an extremely valuable stone at that time. So how they did that? Because they found blue pigment. Let me do this. Blue pigment in in a fossilized dental plaque of a medieval woman, and it was extremely valuable stone at that particular time. Okay, so the findings are first of their kind and strongly suggest it will be possible to increase the profile of ancient female artists in the historical and archaeological record by analyzing their dirty teeth. So these findings, they are first of their kind, like sorry about that, let me do this. So these findings are first of their kind. Basically we didn't find, or we did not have any information before that, and it strongly suggests that, or it will increase the profile of ancient female artists. How we will do that? By analyzing their dirty teeth. So because this blue pigment, whatever that blue pigment is called, it is like lapis lazuli, it was found in their dirty teeth, sorry, in their teeth. So this is being said about that. Okay, now you have about 10 seconds to tell me what's the answer of question number 28, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now let's read the questions options together and see what is our answer, or if you were able to arrive at the correct answer or not. Option A, it confirmed what they assumed when they started. Can this be our answer? No, actually, it's the exact opposite, because here they said it confirmed what they assumed when they started, but here they're saying the research or the findings were unexpected, because they did not expect the involvement of women in the production of manuscripts in medieval period. Okay, so obviously it is opposite to this, so it cannot be our answer. B option, it was hard to persuade other historians about their findings. Nope, this is not our answer, because there is nothing mentioned about this, like is it easy or hard to persuade other scientists about, or other historians for the matter of fact, other historians about their findings. It is not written here anywhere. C, it could reveal the importance of various women in history. Is there anything about that it can increase it will reveal the importance of women in history? Yes, this is our answer. First, let me mark D. It could help identify the number of books written in the Middle Ages. There is about producers of books, but there is nothing about the number of books. Okay, there is no mention of number of books, so this cannot be our answer. So our answer is C option. It could reveal importance of various women in history. So from where we are able to find this answer? Sorry about that. From where we are able to find this answer? Yes, from here. Let me mark this location here first, then I will tell you, I'll explain to you if you were not able to identify this. Okay, so here it is written, increase the profile of ancient women. Basically, if you're increasing the profile of someone, you are like telling their importance, or you are recognizing their importance, or their importance is being recognized. Okay, so reveal, recognize, basically. I hope it is clear. Now, moving on to the next. These four questions, we will read these questions, and then you will have some time to tell me if there is any answer in this or not. So first we will read all the four questions, and then understand the differences in each question, or the meaning of each question on its own. And if there are any two or more questions that have like some same information, okay, or not. Let's see. Clear. Reference to the possible length of time that tartar can preserve particles from air. So whatever the paragraph this information will contain, it will have the reference to the possible length of time. So length of time, basically it can be paraphrased like 2 hours, 5 hours, 5 years. Okay, but for what situation that the tartar can preserve particles from the air, like tartar can store particles safely, and air will not be able to, you can say, spoil those particular particles, oh sorry, those particular things. So whatever the time is, 5 years, 10 years, maybe a century, something like that, whatever the time is, that in whatever paragraph will contain this information, we will write that paragraph as our answer. 34th, two reasons why particles that the team found in teeth were unique. So we will have two reasons. So the particles were unique. 35, various examples of the types of particle that can be discovered in old teeth. So we will have various examples. So various examples, basically it will be like more than one example, but for what or what kind of things? Types of particles that can be discovered in old teeth. So we will be able to find A, B, C, these kind of things in old teeth. Maybe the names of those things are written here, or will be written in whatever paragraph. That will be our answer. 36th, a suggestion that the blue pigment might have been used in medieval times to cure illness. So there will be some sort of suggestion, advice or recommendation, thing like that, for but on what topic? That blue pigment, whatever the blue pigment is, we have read here. This I think, but I believe to is to be as lapis lazuli, basically, might have been used in medieval times. So that blue pigment was used or may have been used in medieval time, but for what purpose? To cure illness. So let's just say to cure illness, basically fever, headache, tummy ache, body pain, sore eyes, sore throat, maybe bruised lips or your scratches, any sort of illnesses or any sort of things, if that can be cured with the help of blue pigment. So in whatever paragraph or in whichever paragraph this information is written, we will write that paragraph as our answer. I hope all the four questions are clear to you. So I will give you about 10 seconds to tell me if there is any answer in a paragraph or not, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So is there any answer in a paragraph or not? No. So all we have already read all the questions. Let's read together again. There is no mention of length of time that Tata can preserve things from here. There are no two reasons given. There is no examples given. There is no suggestion about cure of from illness, like cure illness. So we have just been given what the team found and what it means. Okay, let's see if there is any blank here. A blue pigment. Okay, we have something about blue pigment used to create artworks in. Okay, so it's about artwork, so we don't have this, but let me read this blank first. In Europe in the Middle Ages was derived from a stone called lapis lazuli. So it's the name of the stone, lapis lazuli here. In medieval times, even dash was not as valuable. So we have to tell, in medieval times dash was not as valuable. So there should be some name of a thing. That thing was not as valuable as lapis lazuli, that blue pigment from which artwork was created. So there is no mention of that, obviously. So we don't have our answer here. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the 29th question. What point does the writer make about dental tartar in paragraph C? Okay, now we our answer is in paragraph C. So in paragraph B, we don't have to worry about that. So we will see if in B there is any answer of this particular set or not. B paragraph. This discovery was made possible by applying technological advances in the field of archaeological science to a little studied deposit on teeth known as tartar, which is mineralized dental plaque. Okay. So they are saying that this discovery was only possible because of the technological advances. Okay, that like it was or those advances are used to study this particular deposit on teeth. It is this deposit is known as tartar, so which is nothing but a mineralized form of dental plaque. Okay, in most societies today, oral hygiene practices are part of our daily routine, meaning that dental plaque is regularly removed and doesn't have a chance to build up on our teeth. So in most societies today, basically at present, we are quite aware, or we are quite uh, careful about our oral hygiene, so we brush twice a day. So that's why it doesn't leave room for dental plaque to build up. This was not the case in the past. Plaque built up and mineralized over the course of people's lives. So plaque obviously built up and it mineralized over the course of people's life. This solid deposit has unique archaeological potential. A key characteristic of dental plaque is that while it forms, it has the ability to entrap a wide range of microscopic and molecular debris that enters a person's mouth. When dental plaque hardens and becomes tartar, it can entomb these particles and molecules for hundreds or thousands of years potentially even millions. So they are saying that this particular the main characteristic or key characteristic of dental plaque is that when it forms, it has ability to entrap, basically trap wide range of microscopic and molecular debris, and that enters a person's mouth basically from air, from pollution, whatever that this particular debris is. It has the ability to entrap it, and this particular thing can save these particles for hundreds or thousands of years, potentially even millions. So even for millions of years, those microscopic or molecular debris can be stored in those starters. Okay, so that's our paragraph. So you have about 10 seconds to tell me if there is any answer from 32 sorry 33 to 36 in this particular paragraph, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now let's read the questions together. 33. Reference to the possible length of time that Tata can preserve particles from the air. Can this be our answer? Yes, it is. Let me mark the answer here. This is B. Where it is written, let me change the color. Here. So when dental plaque hardens and becomes tartar, it can intube these particles. So these particles referred to here. Uh, Let me do this. Microscopic and molecular debris. So these particles refer to this particular these two debris. Okay. So here question number. Let me write here first. Question number 33. So obviously there is no information like you can use any letter more than one. So obviously only one letter will be the answer of one question. We cannot repeat it. So and we are quite sure that other like let's read other questions also. Two reasons. There are no there are two types of molecules given, like names given, microscopic and molecular debris, but these are not the reasons obviously. So do not get confused. Say you say two and there are like one and two. So right, no, you have to be very careful what they are asking. Various examples of types of particles that can discovered in old teeth. We are not discovering any types of particles here. These are the debris that gets entrapped in the like tartar. They are not the examples. All right, so do not get confused here also. 36. A suggestion that the blue pigment might have been used in to cure illness. Nothing about curing illness. Okay, so here there is no mention about something is like lapis lazuli is more expensive or was more expensive than some other type of metal or some other type of product or material. There is no mention of that. So 37, we don't have our location here. Okay, now 29th, we know this question is in C paragraph. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the options. Let me change the color. Okay. Archaeology, what point does the writer make about dental tartar? So we have to tell what writer thinks about dental tartar. Archaeologists could make more use of it than they do at present. Like it could be used more, it could be more experiments could be run on it, something like that. Okay, it can be used more than we use it right now. Some particles are more easily trapped in it than others. So some are more easily trapped, others are not that easily trapped. C. The environment can cause it to break down. It can be like deteriorated because of certain environmental conditions. D. Changes in people's diet have influenced its composition. So whatever it was made of or it is made of because of changes in the diet of people, its composition or its structural change. There are structural changes or changes at structural level. So if that's the case, we will mark D as our answer. So what we're gonna do is we will read the C paragraph and see which is our answer. The majority of scholarly work conducted on ancient Tartar has been centered on what people ate. But besides taking in food, the human mouth is subject to a constant influx of particles of different types directly from the environment. So they are saying that the majority of scholarly work that was conducted on ancient Tartar, what it focused on what people ate, like what were their like food habits or what was their diet. But besides taking food, like other than food, there are like a constant influx of particles from like of different types directly from the environment. So we there are a lot of things that goes sorry, there are a lot of things that go in our mouth and we don't know, like 90% to 95% of those things, because they are molecular or microscopic debris present in the atmosphere. Tree and grass pollen, spores, cotton fibers, medicinal plants, and micro charcoal have all been reported among the finds from this type of dental analysis. So they are saying that what we found. So here find just mean these things were found in the dental analysis. Despite such promising evidence, the value of tartar as environmental evidence has not so far been much exploited. The writer is saying that, however, in spite of these kind of promising evidence, like we have a lot of evidence at our hand, okay, on our hand, so still we didn't have, or we don't exploit, or you can say we do not go too in deep for these purpose, like in for the experimental purposes, or as an evidence. These things are not exploited deeply. Okay, so I'm trying not to tear down the paragraph too much, because it will make the answer like quite clear, or I hope it has made the answer clear to you even now, whatever thing I have explained, whatever the meaning of these sentences are. So you have some time to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So let's read the answers together. Is the 29th. Archaeologists could make more use of it than they do at present. Can this be our answer? Yes, in fact, this is our answer. So our first option is our answer itself. Okay, but where it is written? Here. That's right. In the last sentence itself. So let me mark the location here, then I will explain, and we will look at the other options as well, why they are not our answer. So here it is written, archaeology, okay, despite this has not been much exploited. So much exploited that we can make more use of it. So we can exploit it much more than we do at present. B, some particles are more easily trapped than others. There is no mention of this. The environment can cause it to break down. We don't know if there is any effect of environment on this particular thing. Changes in people's diet have influenced its composition. There is mention of what people ate, but we don't know whether people's habit have changed or not, or whatever people ate in the past, that's different from what people eat nowadays. So we don't know about that. It's just telling about it, like this scholarly work, it focused on this particular, sorry about that, it focused on, centered on, basically means focused on what people ate. But have the habit or have the diet of people has the diet of people changed? We don't know about that. So it cannot be our answer. D cannot be our answer. So A is our answer. I hope it is clear. So let's see if there is any answer in this. Again, you will have about 10 seconds to tell me the answer, or if there is any answer or not. Time starts now. Time's up. So let's see. 33rd, we have done this. 34th, two reasons why particles that T found in teeth were unique. Like, are there two reasons given because, like, because of them the particles were unique? Nope. 35, various examples of particles discovered in old teeth. Are there any examples of those things that are discovered in old teeth? Yes. Let me write the answer here first. So it is C paragraph. Where it is written? Here. Let me mark the location here. Question 35. So tree and grass pollen, spores, cotton fibers, medicinal plants, and micro have all been reported among finds from this type of dental analysis. So dental analysis is basically teeth, some things about teeth. Okay, analysis or survey on teeth. I hope it is clear. Let's do this. There is again no mention of something like lapis lazuli is more expensive than that particular thing in medieval times. There is no mention of that. So this is not our answer. Let's move to the next question. Number 30th. What did skeleton of B78? So our look, this is our locator word. So wherever B78 is written, that will be our answer. Let's see if it is in D paragraph. The team analyzed the skeleton remains of a female individual known as B. Okay, sorry about that. Just second, I don't know what's happening. So we have found B78. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the questions, options. Sorry. First option: what did skeleton suggest about her? So obviously it's a female. She had not been very old when she died. Like, it's about something about her age. Like, she was relatively young when she died. B, her life had not been physically demanding. So life not physically demanding. Basically, her life was quite laid back. She didn't have to do a lot of physical labor, something like that. C, her teeth had more tartar than most skeletons of that age. Teeth more tartar, but as with comparison to age. D, she had been given a grander burial than other women of her time. So her burial was more, you can say, celebrated or more grand than other women of her time. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's read this D paragraph. The team analyzed the skeletal remains of a female individual known as B78, who lived in the 11th to 12th century. She was buried in the grounds of a former women's monastery in Dahlem, Germany, that is in ruins today but was occupied by various religious groups for 1,000 years. So they are telling that she was buried in the grounds of a former women monastery. So this is the place in Dahlem, Germany, that is in ruins today, but at one time it was occupied by various religious groups for around 1,000 years. They found well over 100 bright blue particles in the form of small crystals and individual flecks scattered throughout the tartar, which was still preserved on her teeth. What they found well over 100 bright blue particles, okay, in the form of small crystals and individual flecks that were scattered throughout the tartar in her teeth. Her skeletal remains had not indicated anything particular about her life. So, from her skeletal remains, we cannot say anything particular about her life besides a general indication that she probably did not do any hard labor. But what we can do from this is that she didn't do any hard labor. The blue particles were unlike any other discovery. Firstly, because of their color, and secondly, because of their sheer number. So the blue particles that we found in her data, they were like unlike any other discovery. Unlike meaning to say they were different from any other discovery. They are like big. Why? Because firstly, because of their color, and second reason is because of their sheer number. So sheer number basically means pure number. Like there were a lot of blue particles. Okay, a lot of number of particles. I hope it is clear. Now you have some time to tell me the answer of question number 30 here, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options together. She had not been very old when she died. This can this be our answer? Nope, because there is no mention of her age. B. Her life had not been very physically demanding. Yes, this is our answer. From where we can say that? From here. Let me write the location of the question number here. Then I will explain. We will see it together. Question 30. So here it is written: did not do any hard labor, not physically demanding. So there is no mention of age, so this cannot be our answer. See, her teeth had more tartar than other women. We don't know about that. She had been given a grander burial than other women. No, because she was buried in a former women monastery. So where other women were buried, basically. Okay, so it was not like she was the only women there. Other women were also there, present there. So that's why we will say it was a normal thing. Okay, it was not grandeur type of thing. Okay, moving to the next set of questions. So you have about 10 seconds to tell me whether 34 or 35, 36. Is there any answer in this particular paragraph? And your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read together. 34th. Two reasons why the particles that the team found in teeth were unique. Are there two reasons given because of those particles were unique? Yes, there are. So let me mark this. This is our D option. Where it is written? Where is the mention of those two reasons? Here in the last sentence. So firstly, this is the first reason. So because the blue particles were unlike any other just means not like any other. So they are different from other things that we have found. So these are the two reasons, because of their color, and second is because of their number. I hope it is clear. So again, with this cannot be we don't have any location here because there is no comparison of lapis lazuli with any other material or product. That we will say lapis lazuli was more expensive than that particular product. So what we'll do is we 31st question. What is the writer doing in paragraph F? Okay, so now we don't have to concern ourselves with this question for paragraph E, because in the question they are saying writer is doing in paragraph F, so E will not have any answer, and for this is paragraph G. So for E we will see if there is 36th answer here or not, or blanks are here or not. Let's read E paragraph. To be sure about the nature of the particles of bright blue powder trapped in the women's starter, a range of microscopy techniques were used. So, because they want to be sure of what they found in that particular tartar, so they were using a range of microscopy techniques. All techniques provided the same results. The blue specks were lazurite, the blue portion of the lapis lazuli stone, a substance more precious than gold in medieval Europe. So they're saying that this particular thing was more expensive, more precious, basically more expensive than gold. Where it is a substance, it was more precious than gold. Okay, in where in what time? In medieval Europe. Afghanistan was the only source of the stone at that time, and the preparation of the pigment took great skill. So it was only found in Afghanistan at particular time, and its preparation, it required great skill. Okay, you have about like some second to tell me whether 36 is whether we have answer of 36 in e paragraph or not, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read together. 36. A suggestion that blue pigment cure illness. Nope, there is nothing about that. But we have read 37th. So there is answer of 37 here. I am telling you this much. So you have to tell me the answer. So we will read the question together. In medieval times, the even dash was not as valuable. So we have to tell. Let me change the color. In medieval times, something was not as valuable. So what was not as valuable as this particular blue pigment? That was from a stone called lapis lazuli. So you have about 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the answer here, and you will see whether you arrived at the correct answer or not. And the answer is gold. Where it is written? Here. Let me mark here. This is question 37. So they're saying more precious than gold. Obviously, gold was not as valuable as lapis lazuli. So here they have written lapis lazuli previous in the previous sentence. Okay, let's read 38. Lapis lazuli could only be found in Afghanistan. So we have read something was the only source. So Afghanistan was the only source. So and a lot of dash was needed to make the pigment from the stone. A lot of effort, a lot of something was needed. So we needed something that also a lot of that particular something to do what? To make the pigment from the stone. So Afghanistan was only source of the stone at that time, and the preparation, okay, of the pigment took great skill. So you have some time. Our answer is okay. What I'm gonna do is no, I'm gonna do this. Highlight this, and your answer is in this particular sentence. And you have about 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let me write the answer here and see whether you arrived at the correct answer or not. And the answer is skill. Here it is written. This is question number 38. So why, how we arrived at this particular answer? So here it is written. Here is written a lot of, and for a lot of it is written great. So preparation. So skill was needed to make. So to make, to prepare pigment. Okay. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next question, 39th. The procedure used to do this appeared much later in the manuals used by European artists, and this suggests that the product came to their countries as an imported powder. So it was imported in Europe. So, okay, we have to find this particular information first. Artists often had to make a dash on their brushes using their mouth. So, they have to make something on their brushes by using their mouths. What they will make? Artists have to make some. Let's see what they have to make. Okay, they have to make something which then enable them to produce the fine features needed for dash and books. Okay, so wherever we will find European powder and using their mouths, so instead of mouth they can write like their lips, their teeth, mm, their tongue, something like that. Some part of your mouth they can also write like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read the 31st question, because we know this is about a paragraph F. Let's read the options first. What is the writer doing in paragraph F? So we have to tell what the writer is doing in paragraph F. Supporting the team's view that the blue pigment was imported. Like, is the writer supporting the view that this particular pigment is imported? uh, I believe this could be our answer. Why? Because in the last blank we have read something about imported powder. Here we have read about, sorry about that. So we have read about imported powder. So obviously product came as imported. So if it is that particular paragraph, so obviously it was imported. So it can be this. But we will read the options. Explaining why artists in Europe liked to use blue pigment. So we have, if is the writer giving explanation why they you like to use this particular thing, explaining why. C. Comparing artistic designs using the blue pigment in different parts of the world. Is the writer comparing some different parts of the world or designs of different part of the world? D. Criticizing arguments put forward by other scientists about the blue pigment, or is he or she criticizing? Let's see F paragraph. How so how did particles of this precious material end up deposited on this woman's teeth? A variety of reasons were possible, from painting to accidental ingestion during pigment preparation, or even the consumption of the powder as a medicine. But the way in which blue particles were found in her tartar, single flocks in different areas, pointed to repeated exposure, not a single intake. So the writer is saying that the main question now arises is that how these particles end up on depositing on this particular woman's teeth. So there are variety of reasons, okay, variety of possibilities. First, from like painting to accidental ingestion. So maybe she was doing painting, or maybe she ingested them accidentally, she ate them accidentally, okay, during pigment preparation. So she was preparing pigment, but by accident, by chance, she ate some of those particles. Or maybe she consumed it as a medicine to cure some illness, obviously. But the way the blue pigment particles were found in her tartar, it doesn't indicate to like one single incidence. It points to repeated exposure, okay, not a single intake. And creating a vivid blue pigment from lapis lazuli required an Arabic method of oil flotation that did not appear in European artist manual until after the 15th century. So they are saying that if you want to create vivid blue pigment from this particular thing, you require Arabic method of oil flotation, but it was not available until 15th century to European artists. This all suggests that it is more likely that this ultramarine pigment was brought into the region as a finished product for use by artists. So what it suggests, like this, all basically all the evidences points out towards the fact that it is likely that this particular pigment, it was brought in the region as finished products by artists. Okay, so they bought it from other countries. So again, you know the drill. You have about 10 seconds to tell me the answer of question number 31, and your time starts now. Time's up. Now let's read the answers options together and see what's the answer. A option. Supporting the team's view that the blue pigment was imported. Yes, this is our answer. Where it is written here. So this all suggests that basically whatever the reasons are given, they all indicate towards only one particular one possibility, that this pigment was bought from other places outside this particular region, from outside regions. B, explaining why artists like to use. Obviously, there is no explanation why they like to use. Like, was it superior quality from other point of thing? There was no comparison like this. They didn't compare different designs on different parts of the world, and nothing was criticized. So other options cannot be our answer. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read this particular, only one question is left, number 36, and we will see if this paragraph has that answer or not. For the question is saying suggestion that blue pigmentation was used to cure illness. So is this our answer or not? In this paragraph, is our answer present or not? To find out that, you have some time to tell me the answer, and the time starts now. Time's up. So is our answer in F paragraph of question number 36? Yes, we have our answer here. F. Where it is written, just tell me that. Where it is written? Yes. Let me change the color to green. Here, consumption of powder as medicine. So question 36. I hope you were able to find it. So let's see here. So imported powder. So yes, we have found imported powder, but it was in the last sentence. So I don't think so. Our answer should be here. But let's see. Using their mouths, brushes using their mouth. So there is no mention of that. So obviously these answer will be in our last paragraph. That is G. So for G we don't have to worry about these. So we first find 30-second answer, then those two blanks. 30-second. What problem does the writer highlight about? Let me change the color. What problem? We have to tell about the problem that writer highlight about medieval artist in paragraph G. So what problem did they face? The poor facilities available to females in the profession. Like, were the facilities available to the females were poor? The small number of projects available to them, like they didn't have a lot of work to make ends meet, basically something like that. C, the difficulties locating their skeletal remains for study. So we are not able to find their skeletal remains easily, we are finding it difficult to find their skeletal remains. Is this the problem writer talking about? The lack of the lack of evidence for their contribution to books. So there is lack of evidence, whatever their contribution towards book is, like whatever how many books they have written or whatever their contribution is, just because of lack of evidence we cannot give them credit, something like that. Is this the problem writer is talking about? We will see. What we're gonna do is now we will read the G paragraph together. The most likely explanation then is that this was an artist who repeatedly used her lips to make a fine point on the end of her brush in order to paint intricate detail on manuscripts. So they're saying that what the most likely explanation is that this was an artist. So B78, whatever the name of this particular person, this particular female was, so we have given her the name of B78. So she was an artist who repeatedly used her lips to do what? To make a fine point on the end of her brush. So you must have seen many artists, what they do is they, with the help of their lips and some saliva, they make their pointy point of brushes, they sharp the point of their like bristles of the brushes, okay, so that they can paint intricate detail on the manuscripts. This finding suggests that women were more involved in the production of books throughout the Middle Ages than tends to be thought. So what this points towards that? This points towards that women, uh, they were more involved in the production of books than it we think. Okay, we think that like what is thought right now is that basically women were not that much active in book writing, but no, because of this particular evidence we can say that it is possible that women were quite active. Before the 12th century, fewer than 1% of the books that still remain can be traced to the work of women. Okay, so before 12th century, fewer than 1% of the book can be traced back to women. Let me do this. Additionally, artists are largely invisible in both the historic and archaeological records as they rarely signed their work before the 15th century, and until now, there have been no known skeletal markers directly associated with producing art. So, another thing is that another problem is that artists, they are like largely invisible from both historic and archaeological records. Why? Because they rarely signed their work before the 15th century. So this means that after 15th century they started signing their work, but before that it was not a common practice, so as to speak. Okay, the work strongly points to the possibility of using microscopic particles entombed in ancient art to track the artist of ancient times. So this particular evidence is pointing towards that we have to do this. It also suggests that it may be possible to track other dusty crafts using this method and thereby reveal the invisible workforce behind many forms of art. So we can use this particular technique or method to find out about other artists that have made some other type of art. Okay, I hope it is clear. For this, you have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now, let's read the options together. A. The poor facilities available to females in the profession. Is there any mention about like females got poor facilities? Nope. This cannot be our answer. B. The small number of projects available to them. Is there any mention of the number of projects anywhere? Nope. This cannot be our answer. C. The difficulties locating their skeletal remains for study. Is this they mention that we are not able to find the skeletals easily? That's the problem. No. They have just told that. Uh, Let me see. So they have not told anywhere that with the find because of finding skeletons were difficult, we are not able to tell something more. No. So obviously the only remaining option that is our answer is option D. It is our answer. But where it is written like the lack of evidence for their contribution to books. So basically from here, before 12th century can be traced to women. Okay, so if you can more, artists are largely invisible because they didn't sign their work. Okay, from this, because they rarely signed their work before the 15th century, and until now no skeletal markers associated with producing art. So that's the main issue. We are not able to identify the makers. Question 32. I hope it is clear. So let's solve the blanks now. Now let's read it together. The procedure we have used: imported powder. Artists often had to make a dash on their brushes using their mouths. So we have read about something about mouse where here used her lips. So basically uh, here is brush using their mouths, so use her lips, brush. So our answer should be here. So what they use, artists often had to make something on their brush. So on their brush basically just means, so whatever they are doing, so whatever they are doing by using mouth, this particular thing impacts the brush. So let's read this particular thing. The most likely explanation is that this was an artist who repeatedly used her lips to make a fine point on the end of a brush in order to make this. Okay, so our answer is in this particular sentence. Sorry about that. Our answer is in this particular sentence, and you have some time to tell me the answer. And your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. I'm gonna write the answer here and see if you have arrived at the correct answer or not. And our answer is point. Where it is written, sorry about that. Let me do this. This is question number 39. So point. So here it is written, instead of the mouth, from they have paraphrased using their mouth, had repeatedly used her lips. Okay, so on their brushes, end of their brush, so what they're trying to make a fine point. So we cannot write fine because this we have to write only one word. If we write fine point, though your answer point is correct, but if you write fine here, your answer will be marked as incorrect. Okay, so let's read ahead. Which then enabled them to produce the fine features needed for dash and books. So it enabled them to produce fine features needed for something and books. So to paint intricate details on manuscripts. Okay, so again the answer is in this particular sentence. So you have about 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. I'm going to write the answer here. The answer is manuscripts. So fine features, intricate detail. So I hope you got the answer easily because quite straightforward. So we have completed all the answers. Yes. So this is how you should attempt such kind of paragraphs. You should do readings like this only, because if you're not able to understand the questions and the information given in the text, and if you just rely on matching words, you will not be able to score your desired scores or respectable band scores, let alone 7, 8 or 9. Okay, so you should not go for shortcuts. If your reading is weak, you should watch my other videos as well, in which I have explained other modules of Cambridge book also. So if you still have any doubts, you can click my bio. There's my website link is given in my bio. You can click there, you can enroll in our course. If we have made like video course on all the four modules like reading, listening, writing and speaking. If you are not getting band 7 or more in your writing and or speaking, if you are struggling, if you're stuck at 6 or 6.5 even after multiple attempts and don't know where you are going wrong, what mistakes you are making, and you have tried everything you think you can. So if you are still stuck, like you don't know where to go, you can enroll in our video course. We have made videos explaining what you need to do to get a band 7 or more in your writing and or speaking, or whatever score you need in your reading and listening or writing or speaking. We have made videos on that. It will help you to understand the four parameters on which your essay or speaking is judged, so that you can give the examiners what they are looking for. So that's it for this video. Then I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.